Hi, my name is Michael G, and have another video for you. And today's video is post-wall Chad chasing single mothers expect you to support Chad's anchor baby. Yeah. So these single mothers that have been chasing Chad have babies with them, and the father doesn't stay. So we're going to draw this out, because whenever you have a problem or something in a relationship or something, draw out the problem and you'll get some insight. So we have Chad. So Chad is here with his muscles. We'll put him with his muscles. He's the guy. Here's Chad. And then we have the woman that chases Chad. You know, she's chasing Chad. And Chad has a baby with her. And this baby now, you can call this an anchor baby. An anchor baby to try and anchor her into the relationship with Chad. Now, this is the part that's really important. Chad has no compassion for this, because he leaves the baby. You know, you see this all the time about baby mama drama, or you see this a lot in the black community, because I think that, let's say, the forces in control want to keep them destabilized. So you have these men, they have the baby with the woman. Now the woman in this relationship with a guy who has no compassion for the baby. So that means the heart is missing. Where is the heart? The man's heart is not in this relationship. So she has the baby, and what she does is she finds someone that finds her attractive, okay, and this guy ends up being the simp for this woman. Now she can have two different Chad anchor babies, you know, two babies, two different fathers. However, when she meets up with you, you now are going to be paying to support these two kids, because the fathers are nowhere around. Keep this in mind now. For her to come to you, again, has nothing to do with heart. Nothing. In fact, you could say that this is not the symbol, this is the symbol, the money sign. She is coming to you for support, and you're supposed to support the children of a no heart or no spirit connection relationship. You need to stay away from this. And she will use the manipulation to rope you in, because the heart's not involved. For her, it's a payday. It's a payday. Society has to teach, the women have to teach the daughters to stay away from Chad. Because if you're going to chase Chad, and Chad has all these options, he doesn't need to stay with you. In fact, these women actually make Chad. Yeah. The attractiveness of these women and the men having these women throw themselves at them separates the man also from his heart. Later in life, a recycled Chad can actually be a decent person, but he's going to have to grow compassion. But it's going to be very hard for the woman to do that. It's going to be very hard for the woman, because she has to continuously now separate herself from her heart so that she can get the money to fund Chad's children. You do not want to be in this position. You do not want to be in this position. So the woman that is with Chad also has no heart. So now, if you're attracted to these women, you know, you're attracted to a woman that's only going to give you pain and suffering. You know, God set this up where these people are falling into their own desires. You know, she wants him. She can't keep him. Tosses out a baby or two to anchor herself into him. The wall comes, and then after that she uses the manipulation to find somebody who's going to end up being a sucker. You're not playing the long game. Don't play the long game. This person, she needs to sort this out by herself. She needs to go and either reconcile with Chad or be by herself. I don't care how pretty she is. Because she didn't have the heart to realize that this guy doesn't have the heart. So if she doesn't have the heart, then that means your heart's going to be destroyed. You see, the whole idea of being conscious is to see what's going on. The women that are tens, okay, the women that are tens, they're going for Weinstein. What was the guy, Weinstein? Whatever his first name is, Weinstein? Yeah. The tens sell the body straight up for the man with the money. And some nines. The sevens, eights, and nines are chasing Chad. Okay? The 7, 8s, and 9s that can't be 10 are chasing Chad. And the 9s may be more for Weinstein too. You can even throw 6s in there. This group of people that chase Chad are the women that have the high standards. Okay? They have the high standards. Okay? You hear this high standards all the time. Let's talk about the standards. So you get this. Okay. This is the earth, okay? We stand on the earth. This is a man, and this is a woman. She is a little shorter, okay? There's a height difference. The man and the woman, okay? The man, his power is the head and the hands. Her power is the torso. When she has high standards, she's trying to enter into the masculine head. When she enters into this masculine head now, she needs the man to be at that level. So it's a woman pretending she's a man that's looking for a man now that's up here. Okay? So they consider this the high standards or high value man. Dude, when you're looking to raise yourself to the woman's standards, you're going to be tired. Look, we got to live our lives here. You know? The field of view is to be in your body standing on the earth as a man. The women with the high standards want to stand above the man, and then they're again looking higher in the stratosphere, where there's less people that are that tall. So let them do it. Keep your standards. We don't want you. Those standards are not realistic standards. They're not. Because the standard of the woman now is lies. And we know this because we saw the relationship with Chad here. For her to get Chad, she has to sacrifice the heart. You know, imagine the children, these anchor babies. You know, anchor babies. She doesn't care about those kids. And I tell you what, if you hook up with her and she has a couple of kids with you post-wall, let me tell you, the love for these two kids and yours might be different because she resents you. This woman hates you. If she used to be with Chad and she's now with a simp, she hates you. Literally hates you. And that hate will grow because you're not going to be able to satisfy her in the bedroom because she's still thinking on Chad. That's why you need to leave her alone. Leave her alone. This whole high standards garbage. When the woman says she has high standards, you know what? She can keep her standards. She can keep her standards and cats. And let me tell you, when I was in my 30s, I saw these women. Like I said before, well-preserved future fossils. I don't know if you ever seen an 80-year-old fossil. You know? Did you ever see an 80-year-old fossil? Nothing wrong with being 80. But she is well-preserved. She's well-preserved. Looks as good as she can at 80. No man for decades. Because these standards are unrealistic. They're unrealistic. So they can keep the standards. And we as men do not want the woman to lower her standards. Once she reaches the Chad standards, she needs to keep them there. So when the MGTOW guys say that the women should lower their standards, they're saying for this woman with no heart who hooked up with Chad, has anchor babies now, should lower her standards to be with you, that's not going to be good. No, keep your standards. Yes. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I don't fulfill your standards is the answer you should say. Oh my God, you're so right. Oh my, what am I doing? Because if you are a man, or a young man, or you're becoming a man, let me tell you, you have to protect your heart in your body. Because if you are in your body and you have and control of your spirit, you become whole. And then your vision is clarity. And this will protect you from the rabid feminists. By the way, someone asked me about, I make mention of the Bible. I mean, I'm not, saying it a lot. But if you want to see how this plays out, how feminists conspire with their committees, look at John the Baptist and how his head was cut off. John the Baptist is the man. Okay? He is the man, John the Baptist. And what did two feminists do? They conspired to the simp king, Herod, to take his head. So if you want to see the nature of how these women are, these women with no heart, no compassion, watch, go read that. I have a video on it too. It says, John the Baptist was killed by two feminists or something. I made it about 3-4 years ago. Just as accurate today. Just as accurate. When you're becoming the simp or the enabler, you lose your head and you're trying to satisfy your eyes with this girl, but you really don't see everything else that's going on. You don't see it. The point is that you have to come into your body whole. That means you have to, everything that you do, you have to trust your gut. See, the gut, when we talk about the gut, it's really the spirit. Your gut is the spirit. This is your second brain. And you have in here the intestines. The intestines they digest reality. Because that's where the food goes to be digested, in the gut. So you have to connect to the gut. And the gut will tell you. If you sacrifice the gut, then you're going to be delusional. Chad chasing women are delusional. These women are delusional. They're not trusting in their spirit. And you know who makes these women like this too? The simps. Because the simps put them on the pedestal, and if they're on the pedestal, they're going to step on your head to get to Chad. The enablers to the attractive women are the ones that make them cling to Chad. That's why when you're young, when you're out the guys, don't look at the women. Don't stare at them. Don't gawk at them. You know what? Because if you get that idealization of the woman, like that, then what ends up happening is, again, you lower yourself so you can glorify her. You have to see her for the woman that she is, not the ideal. She's not the ideal of women. She is a woman. So you got to see which woman she is. If you know which woman she is, then you can now start, doing things with more sense. You could be making better decisions. A lot of guys in MGTOW, they question her on her decisions. However, these guys make poor decisions when a hot woman is in the room. When a hot woman's in the room. It's really funny. If you want to see something really funny, because, in observations you get to see stuff. Jordan Peterson had interviewed this blonde-haired woman, friend of his daughter's, Michaela. And she was sort of flirting with him. So what was Jordan Peterson doing? He is not, what can I say? He talks a lot, but when now he's confronted with a woman that he finds attractive, if you watch his head was bobbling back and forth. His head was bobbling back and forth because he felt that he was attracted to her, so his head was like moving back and forth in an arc. And after he was doing this for a while, he was having thoughts of his daughter's friend, and then he started to cry. All right? He started to cry. You could see at that moment he was about to simp for her, and then his emotions made him think of his wife, and he started crying. This is Jordan Peterson now, who says all this big talk stuff, remember? So, don't think that just the women make bad decisions. You men make bad decisions too. Stop just dogging the women. You're part of the problem. The MGTOW guys are part of the problem. They're the ones that used to simp for these women that made them go to Chad. And you can't. And the reason why I say that is because when you're looking at something, you can't just say, okay, let's go to this place. Like women that have relationships with narcissists and psychopaths. If you go to Quora, you'll see this all the time. If you look at the answers or the questions, once you have narcissist and psychopath, you'll have like 13,000 plus questions. But when it comes to enablers, you might find 5 about enablers. Why? Because the women want to make this guy as the bad guy. They make themselves as white fluffy rabbits. Innocent. Bullshit. These women, if you're in a relationship with a psychopath or a narcissist for 1 year, if it's over 1 year, then it is a combined 50-50 distortion. The enabler to the narcissist is just as guilty, in fact more guilty, because you see, the enabler knows the truth and sacrifices it for something that they want. Just keep that in mind. When you're simping for a woman, you are sacrificing the truth so that you can get with her. And then what you're going to get is you're going to be either friend-zoned or you're going to be sitting there taking care of Chad's anchor babies that she's trying to throw. When I see these women with Chad's anchor babies, I picture this woman now. What she's trying to do is she's trying to throw the anchor baby over the wall to catch Chad. Yeah. That's your baby, right? That's your baby. That's your baby. She'll have the baby with Chad, and she might even say it's yours. She'll have the baby with Chad and say it's yours. Now, is this all women? No, it's not. But it's the women that sometimes these hot women that have all this junk going on because nobody tells them no. Nobody tells them no. You see a hot woman, tell her no. I had said this story once. I'm at a bar, and there's this woman. She asked me, what do you think about my haircut? Like I said in another video, she lost her mind when I told her that it makes her look masculine. She absolutely lost her mind. Brought 3 guys to try and beat me up. 1 was confused, and 2 started laughing. And that's what happens. That's what happens, because now they want to turn that no into a kill the messenger. John the Baptist told Herod, okay, listen to this. Herod married his brother's wife. Okay? So Herodias is Herod's wife. I'm going to say this really quick so you get it. Herodias is Herod's wife. Okay? She was married to Philip. John the Baptist said that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. So, what did she do? She sent her daughter, the daughter of Herodias, to seduce Herod, to say, I'll give you anything you require. She went back to her mother and says, well, what should we do? Said, get the head of John the Baptist. So this monkey branching woman got a simp to do her work. Or you could say Herod was in charge. He could have been a Chad, but he was more of a simp because he simped for the daughter. He simped for the daughter to cut the head off John the Baptist. This is in the Bible. You guys, you want to find out what's going on in the world and how men and women are and the things that they do wrong and right? Read the Bible. If you want to see the most fantastic woman, read the book of Esther. Ruth. You want to see the worst woman? Look at Vashti in the book of Esther. Vashti. She was married to the king. He had a party. He wanted her to come and show herself off to all to everybody there. She had her own party and she did not listen to the king. He dumped her and said, make a competition for the fairest of the land, and he got Esther. Okay, so the King Ahasuerus, and by the way, the King Ahasuerus also had MGTOW guys around him. If you read the story, the eunuchs are MGTOW guys. That's really interesting. It's very interesting. There's a lot more to the Bible than people think. If you want to see how, another one, Potiphar's wife. Potiphar was a ruler in Egypt, had a hot wife, and what'd she do? She tried to get Joseph to sleep with her. And then when Joseph didn't want to sleep with this, when he didn't want to sleep with Potiphar's wife, that's why, guys, you made mistakes here and there. Don't step on other guys. Don't step on other guys. I mean, I'm not going to say I wasn't guilty of this myself, but, get a heart. Don't step on another guy. Joseph didn't step on Potiphar's wife. And what did she do? She said that he tried to rape her. She accused Joseph of trying to rape an Egyptian ruler's wife. So you have to be really careful when you deal with a woman, when you say no. You have to be very careful for these Chad chasers because they're master manipulators. Because these women with high body counts, the women with the high body counts, the women that chase Chad, when they hit that wall after 30 or whatever, then you're not going to have a good relation with them. It's going to be very hard for someone to let that go. She has to have like a biblical level epiphany for her not to go down the same road and make you a simp that's going to be miserable. A miserable wallet. You're not even a simp, you're a wallet. You're an ATM machine. So don't be an ATM machine, and when you run across these women, guard your money. Because look, let's be serious. If you're going to use this as your hook, you're going to get a Chad chaser. Post-wall Chad chaser. And she's got 2 anchors. 2 anchor babies. Tyrone and little Chad. The Chad Jr. And she's going to look at you. You got to leave him alone. You got to leave him alone. Hope this video helps. God bless. And remember, everything is in the Bible. The Bible can make a man out of you. If you're a young person, read these stories. Read the stories that I referenced. Esther, Potiphar's wife, John the Baptist. I made a video about John the Baptist years ago. How two women conspired. How it was a committee of women. Remember, these feminist committees. When women get together, they're going to try and kill the man. God bless.